What's up, everyone? You're tuned in to the channel Eps episode 145. I'm your host, EEPMON, because there is none other. And today, oh boy, today was a crazy day. Busy day. In a very productive way, of course. One of which I was invited to Carleton University. It's a university that I went to back in the heyday for the interactive multimedia design program. And I was a guest lecturer to speak to the first year of the interactive multimedia and design program. Suffice to say, much has changed there. They got far superior computers, bigger labs, to the point that I'm quite envious. But it was a great lecture nonetheless, because what my goal was. It's not just about, hey, this is what stuff I've done, but it's more like showing real use case scenarios of graduates from the program doing different things. One of which is what I do. I'm a digital artist. I'm a creative entrepreneur. And I do recommend that Carleton or other universities really embellish the programs and bringing in alumni to talk about real industry aspects. And because it provides students a direct connection with real world relevance, right? So myself and another individual, her name is Tegan. She's doing some amazing stuff called Amuse, which I think is a very brilliant name for a company in regards to empowering and transforming museums to engage with new audiences in innovative and interesting ways. And my talk, but both like, so it was myself and Tegan, but both of us come from an entrepreneurial mindset, an entrepreneurial lens. And I mentioned in my lecture that what's really nice about this program that I was engaged in, and I believe it still continues with many years later with the interactive multimedia design program, that the reason why I got into this I want to continue on. I think I'm going to continue on based on where I left off in my lecture, because for those who are following, the students who are following on Instagram, I think this is going to be insightful for you all, and gives you more behind the scenes of how I do things, how I operate, how I think. And I mentioned that what's really great about the program is that when you graduate, you're not just you just it's not you're not going to have it allows you to diversify your job aspects, right? It's not just like, oh, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to work for a job, like in a very traditional sense. Today, in this day and age, I believe that careers are defined at your will. You can call the shots, not necessarily going through the same old corporate jargon, procedures, submitting resumes when everyone's submitting the same resumes to the same process, and you have some like computer screening, resumes like that stuff. Like, honestly, it works. Okay, I get it. It works for some, but that stuff is old. Like, that stuff is out the window, folks. It's a flawed system. I think. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think that there's no way that going through that route is, in my personal opinion, going to empower you or empower the organization, because I still believe at the end of the day, as digital creators, as in entrepreneurs, face to face, people to people is so incredibly paramount. Enough with some of these algorithms that screen things. Enough with these, traditional dinosaur like ways of applying for a job. Today, folks, we are in the age where we can call our own shots in our own ways, finding our own opportunities, uh, simply because we are in very well in the digital age. This is it. Take advantage of the tools. Take advantage of your already ways of communicating. How can you leverage that into your um, uh, career aspects, in your entrepreneurial aspects, right? So I'm not going on a rant here. One thing that I've heard many times, and it's a completely valid, completely fair, is, and then and I myself was in that same situation too, is that we have, like, artists has this, we feel that, before we can come out into the world, we should have already defined a concrete body of work, or create a very unique style that no one has seen before. It really defines who you are. And these are some of the questions that student ask, like, how do I know if I'm ready? What does it take? And my response was the fact that um, no one is ever ready. The fact is that you got to go out there, embrace the unknowns, embrace the uncertainties, because, and I said to them, I guarantee you that those areas where you feel uncomfortable are the areas where opportunity truly lies. They're in those outliers. The opportunities are on the fringe, on the edges. People who dare not to, or far and few have traveled that unorthodox path, because it is, you know, a road of resistance. It's a challenge. It's an obstacle. I observe that people in society these days are just so afraid of just getting off the trend, getting off, going towards the uncharted path, the scary waters, and I think that needs to change, and especially in this day and age. And another thing that I didn't really, and I want to also say that, have fun. Life is an adventure. It's not supposed to be scripted. It's not supposed to be well defined. It's not supposed to be like, I know exactly where I'm going to go. Folks, even right now, okay, I've been in my creative industries endeavors for over, oh boy, like, I say folks, I'm coming up to 20 years in my career, okay? Even now, I have no idea what's going to happen 4 months from now. I don't. I mean, I have some goals, I have some objectives, but concretely, absolutely set in stone wise, I can only see things, within 4 months at a time. That's what I'm saying. Anything past that, I have ideas. Some of them are more realizable. Is that even a word? Realization. I can realize them. I think they're going to happen. I have a degree of confidence based on my intuition that I've honed in my many years. That's all I can do, and I have to be absolutely comfortable with it. I have to be absolutely content that, the universe will throw you curveballs here and there, and is either we accept them and we know how to mitigate them, know how to address them, how to confront them, and that's the way life is. Hold on. This is tea, by the way. Hold on a second. And you have to try as many things as you can. One question was asked, how do you, I think something to do with, like, experience. How do I gain these experiences? What does it take? Like, well, you just have to go out there, folks. Students listening to this conversation, like, get out there, um, break the ice, break the mold. And if it gets very awkward, I remember I would um, engage in these conversations, trying to network with people. And I remember that I left the conversation in a very awkward situation because, like, I wanted to try to um, move the conversation towards a direction, but I just wasn't able to do it, and as a result, I made the situation very awkward, and it was embarrassing. And I know that, like, to me, I felt like, oh man, like I really screwed that up. That sucks. Oh, I missed opportunity. Oh, what was I thinking? But then I realized, I kind of like I laughed it off because I was like, oh, that's pretty cute. That was your attempt. You tried to do it, it didn't work. But hey, now I know what to do next time. Now I know how to improve. I could tell you for sure, folks, that the majority of the experiences that I learn is based on screwing up. It has a lot to do with screwing up. Could you imagine if you had a career where you always like got like everything right? Everything right, everything right, right, right? You know? Like, first of all, okay, good on you if you did that. But if you like got right the 1000th time, and then suddenly you did something that didn't go to your expectations, like, how would you feel? You would probably feel very awful. You would have this dreadful feeling. Oh, like, wow, what was this? Like, how I absolutely failed. I was so good, but then suddenly, oh, you know, the what is it? Um, hold on one second. The moral of the story, folks. That's what I'm saying. The moral of the story is that in order to gain experience, you must appreciate and involve yourself in both your successes and your failures. You have to experience the whole spectrum of failure, perceived failure, and success. I said this many times in my previous episode, and that is how you know experience. That is experience in itself. If you're always getting success on one end, and you cannot, and you haven't been exposed to the failure, then you have not grown. You have not built that foundation. I really believe in that. I also really believe that success and failure are one and the same. They're the same thing. They're just different ends of the spectrum of experience. The spectrum of experience. But again, they're one and the same because you would learn and grow by realizing both sides. But by understanding those two sides and getting exposed to those both two sides, okay, and anywhere between, is how people say grow a backbone, how you build a foundation, how you learn how to take things to the next level. So so that was my little talk about that. And I'll talk about my use case studies, and just to inspire and show people, like the students that, not necessarily if you're going to do an art illustration endeavor doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be an illustrator for the rest of your life. No, you can do many things, especially in this digital age. As a digital creator, I find myself working in so many different areas of industry: video games, comics, museums, big murals, interactive installations, and now increasingly in public policy and cultural diplomacy type initiatives. So I like to think that there's plentiful of opportunities. It's just a matter of how willing do you want to get yourself out into the world, expose yourself out in the world, try something different, trying something new. That is the bottom line to innovation. That is what innovation is about. So on that note, yeah, that was my day today. I had a lecture, but also, like, folks, like, I'm gonna pivot and digress a bit because there's so much stuff going on. Good things for that matter. But I can tell you for sure, like, I can't believe that December is just around the corner, and next thing you know it, 2025 is going to be upon us. And I know I said I only could look at things concretely 3 to 4 months at a time. And I tell you, within these 4 months, there will be a lot of things happening coming down the pipeline. And I'm grateful and fortunate that's going to happen. Um, but at the same time, the question is now like, am I able to handle all of these things that are going to come at me at once? It is going to be a very productive 2025. I'm looking very forward to it. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. But even to this day, I do not know what the real true outcome will be. I don't know. I know that these things that are coming, these projects or potential projects are coming, are definitely, how should I say, not something that I do all the time. So you could take it in two ways. One, you could take it like, oh, I don't want to do it because I'm intimidated by it. I have no experience in it. I don't want to. I'm afraid of failing because this is completely new. I have no idea. Or two is like, this is so new. This is different. I'm curious and I want to learn more. And I think this would be such a great growing opportunity for me. And I will apply my existing knowledge in pursuing this new endeavor. So I like to think the latter. I would choose the latter in a way that I would engage in things. And I could say that there are like four or five, I think I'll say five new things that I'll be engaged in pretty much within around 2025. And I could be completely intimidated by it, or I'll be like, challenge accepted. So yeah, this is what I do. This is how I think. This is what I embrace. And it may sound easy, but I know, like when I first started, trying to break that ice of engaging in these, embracing uncertainties, embracing unknowns, it'll take time. Yes, of course. The first time is never going to be the way that you expect it, okay? But you do it again, Practice makes perfect, I guess, but it's just practice. And over time, you will start to develop you will start to understand more of your capabilities, your potentials. Once once was considered almost like impossible, now it becomes a possibility, a reality. And that's where I find myself today. I would never have thought that I would be doing things the way I am now, or being who I am now, like 10 years ago. But you keep at it and you continue with your entrepreneurial ways, your creative ways, guaranteed you will discover more about your potential, your capability, your skills, build your confidence, hone in your intuition, because industry needs people like you to steer the direction. New leaders are born because people are taking the responsibility and accountability in their creative endeavors. I kind of ranted there, but I just felt I want to get that off my chest. And I haven't done a episode of the channel Eps in a while, so I apologize. I just want to get it out there. Well, anywho, I don't want to make this too late. We're closing at 20 minutes. But it has been a productive week. I got another couple of days to go. It's only Wednesday. It feels like Friday already, but yeah. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed. Please give a like, subscribe, comment if you like. This is the Channel Eps episode 145. And I will certainly speak to you all soon. Until next time, goodbye.